We're really honored to have won the ASPE Award yesterday for Best Data and Analytics Solution. Great validation from our colleagues in the space. We strive to bring great solutions to the marketplace, really, and all of our employees. I'm really proud of all of them. Definitely the hard work and the passion shines through in terms of how we brought this to market, so we're really proud of it. OMD has actually been a client and partner of ours for going on 3+ years. And to answer the question, it really starts at the basis of understanding attribution and really the value this presents to advertisers. So really, attribution, as you know, has the aspect of basically where last ad has typically won, has been used as the currency of measurement for many, many years. The problem with last ad is when you look at this from a funnel perspective, you have folks that are generating demand and folks that are harvesting that demand. And it's not an equitable situation, essentially, where in that scenario, what you have are folks that are harvesting the demand are getting really all the credit for that conversion. So there naturally exists this inefficiency in every portfolio, in every client's portfolio that we're able to measure, where if I looked at a client's portfolio, ranging from probably 10% to upwards of about 40%, you have inefficient media in market. So really, when you think about what that means, is an attribution solution can help you identify those inefficiencies as a starting point. And ultimately what that results in is a lower CPA, because I can now show you of all these placements and tactics that you have in market. Here's what's working and here's what's not working, essentially using a model-based approach that we have in market. And this is what we essentially went to market with OMD and their client to help them get the most out of what they had in market from a digital perspective. We've been doing attribution now for many years. In fact, our first model was launched in 2006, back in the days when Atlas came out with engagement mapping. It sort of dates us a little bit, but the beauty of that is we've had a chance to hone in on the model and make it really perfect it by implementing it on really hundreds of large advertisers and brands across the board. And one of the things that our process sort of embodies is what we call true attribution, which basically is the process by which we consume and crunch through all this data. And the output is what we call true metrics. So think of a true metric as a metric that kind of tacks on and helps you understand the synergy that's happening in your portfolio. So what is the synergy between display and search, or within display, what is the synergy between publisher 1 and publisher 5, right? So this true metric essentially replaces a last ad metric. So if you think of a system that we would launch for a client, typically what we would show them is last ad, and right next to that, a true metric by channel, by placement, by creative, by tactic. So really from an operational basis, what the agency and the partner or advertiser are using is, rather than optimize their media on last ad basis, they now just have to really switch over to true metric and optimize based on that. So operationally, it doesn't really change a whole lot, just based on what they're doing today. So as I said earlier, we've been in the attribution space for several years, and we've always looked at this, first we went out to solve the measurement problem. How do you bring a better measurement problem, sort of solution to the market that is better than last ad? If you look at the caliber of clients that we work with today, they span from the who's who on the top 200, but we also work with a ton of mid to small size companies as well. But what we've gone through and what we've kind of learned through the process is that the measurement that we bring to the table is 97 to 98% accurate in terms of what it produces for the client. And really what it's all about is, a lot of clients, even today, don't really truly have true cross-channel metrics, last ad even. I mean, they're able to measure display in a silo, search in a silo. So really one of the benefits that attribution brings to the table is looking at all your cross-channel data in one place. And now you finally start to see sort of this true cross-channel last ad metric in one place, right? So there's a recalibration of the entire organization to sort of say, okay, my new baseline is X. It kind of is like, CFO saw 1,000 conversions in their order management system, but everybody else reported sort of 2,000 conversions, right? That's essentially what attribution helps to solve. So how do you prove that the measurement system is accurate, right? So it comes back down to what we did with OMD in this example, where you take a chunk of the recommendations that we're generating. So in other words, the attribution system is saying, listen, take these 20 recommendations or 100 recommendations, whatever it is, and put it back into market, right? So it's a validation. You're taking that, you're adjusting the way in which you buy display, you're adjusting the way your allocation against keywords or whatever the tactic was. And at that point, what you're able to see is the incremental lift that you're getting from those recommendations in market. The same thing applies on the other side, which is increasing conversion. So, because I just told you, go focus on these 5 tactics to drive conversion activity. So, the validation of those recommendations in market is really what validates how accurate the measurement aspect is. And the value we drive to clients is sort of tremendous, and that's measured by essentially their tenure with us. So, we've had clients with us for 4 to 4.5 years now, who continually, year over year, are able to derive value from an attribution system. The differentiators come down to a couple of different areas. One is the science. The science is very different. It's a model-driven, algorithmic-based model that even though everyone sort of says, it's model-based, there are subtleties in how you actually go to market with the science. So going back to sort of the proof is in the pudding component, that's how we hold ourselves accountable to that. So we not only validate the model is accurate, we're one of the few vendors that actually can perform model validation on the fly. So the subtleties in the science is one aspect. The second aspect is truly looking at this from a cross-channel basis. There are a lot of solutions that focus just on digital or just on display. We have clients that look at this from an online and offline perspective. So the impact of TV on search, as an example. But then there's another further differentiator. There's addressable and non-addressable media. So the addressable media is if a client is spending more on catalog data or direct mail data, right, or call center data, how do you include that as part of your overall analysis? So this is the breadth of the channels that we're able to include in our model is a key part of that. But the other side is what we discussed earlier, is how do you truly capitalize on the attribution solution that you have? You can't think of it as a pure measurement sort of initiative. It has to be measurement followed by action. So how much of this measurement, how much of the insights are you able to take and operationalize, right? So that whole operationalization aspect involves your partners, it involves your technology ecosystem, and so what we're focused on is really making sure we build enough bridges for those advertisers to take those insights and push it back into their partners, whether it be the DSP or bid management platform, and also enabling agencies. And we're here at the Agency Summit, and ultimately what we see is bringing more insights from an attribution system that tell you more about how the audience is interacting with the brand. What can I tell you about how they interact with one publisher versus another, or one content block versus another content offer, and the speed at which they engage with the brand. These are all things that go into how I come up with a good, cohesive communication strategy for that audience. And that's a key part of sort of what we differentiate ourselves on, is really the operational context in which advertisers and their partners can succeed using an attribution platform. We have a ton of great information on our site at visualiq.com, everything ranging from white papers to videos, so feel free to reach out to us.